Welcome to another episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Former President Clinton testifies before the House Oversight Committee's Epstein probe. We know that he was subpoenaed and made to testify to depose himself here at the Epstein probe. And he's here, as was Hillary Clinton, his wife, under testimony, and it was extremely contentious, to say the least. Here with Clinton's testimony, he's being asked if he can remember who it was that he took this infamous photo with in the hot tub. This victim, this young child that he took a photo with in the hot tub. Suddenly, former President Clinton cannot recall who this was in the hot tub with him. He does remember everything else about that occasion, but just can't recall. The president, former, can't recall who he was in the hot tub with. This, of course, makes no sense. They're all sleazeballs. Let's get into it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for being here and for your time today. Thank you for your service. We have, as you know, in the files that were released, there were several photos, included you, and we have an exhibit here. That's just one of the photos. And Exhibit K, Minority Exhibit K.
Yep.
And we'll have that passed around. And what we're trying to get at is some context for the public on whether you remember this photo and any details you may be able to provide us about it. So do you recall the details of this photo or recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it, it's a photo of you in a hot tub. There's a person next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this pic, and I think there's an adjacent photograph, which you probably have, and that if people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them showing this picture. But anyway, this picture was taken in Brunei. And we flew one night on a trip to Asia, the last very long leg.
You said we, is it, who is that including?
Well, my TEL team that was working
Thank you.
on the AIDS issue, and Mr. Epstein was there, and Miss Maxwell, but anyway.
Mr. Epstein was there, still refers to Epstein with all of this respect. This is the same president who introduced the three strikes bill, essentially, or the crime bill. He's responsible for more black men being incarcerated than any other president. I know people like to say he's the first black president and all of this nonsense. These individuals who have absolutely no education and doesn't understand how this system works. But no, I'm not a fan of Bill Clinton, Obama, certainly not Trump, none of them. They're all corrupt. They all knew about the Epstein files. This dates back over 20 years. So all of the presidents, Bush, prosecutors, nurses, the FBI, interviewed this poor girl 4 times, never did anything about it. No one has been arrested. I'm not even so sure that former President Clinton should be the one up here testifying anyway. Yes, I'm sure has his hands involved and he's complicit as well. They're all sick. They're all in cahoots. They're all, and I mean, the stuff that is coming out about this Epstein stuff is absurd, abhorrent, so snatching. Have you read some of this stuff? We're not just talking about regular abuse, regular SA, regular assault, regular grape, or whatever. Obviously, all of that is bad as well, extremely so. But we're talking about some depraved behavior. Do you know that they, inside of the reports, they have that, first of all, that a lot of these girls are now dead. These individuals have committed murder as well. Some of these girls have come up dead. Some of these girls got pregnant by these abusers, these children. I don't even want to call them girls because they're children. Some of these children got pregnant by these abusers, and they abused their child. They starved the child that the female victim had so that the baby would be real hungry, and then in the child's knowing that the child would go harder because the child was hungry. This is what we're talking about when we talk about the Epstein files and the abuse. People, I believe, have it twisted, just thinking just a few little girls were abused, just some good old rich, powerful guys who just did what people normally do. No. This is extensive. A lot of these individuals were involved. Children were involved, as in Donald Trump's children, in abusing and murdering the victims after the fact. No one has been arrested, nevertheless. No one has been held accountable other than Jeffrey Epstein, and then they killed him. He didn't commit suicide. They killed him to keep him quiet. Remember, do you recall Pam Bondi saying that there were no Epstein files? Just as early as last year, Pam Bondi was saying there were no Epstein files. There were none. They don't exist. What are you talking about? She said that. Only to find out, of course, there are Epstein files. Everyone knew this. And then the DOJ tried to withhold certain parts of the Epstein file. The DOJ, the Department of Justice, when called out on it, they had to release it. But at first they were running around saying there were no Epstein files because they want to hide this sickening abuse. And they're all complicit. They're all culpable, from the FBI to Obama to Clinton to Garland to Kristi Noem to Pam Bondi to J.D. Vance to George Bush. They're all involved. There's an active cover-up going on in the United States government, covering up the most appalling crimes known to man. In real time, they're covering it up right now as we speak. All of the Epstein files still have not been released. And when they finally did release portions of them this year, they excluded the accusations against Donald Trump. How's that? How can that be? Unless everyone is involved in the cover-up. What are the American people going to do about it? Because somewhere, someone is being arrested for stealing a candy bar right now. Someone is being arrested for stealing food to try to feed themselves and feed their family. And you sick people are going to be calling for that individual to be locked up. Get this criminal off the street for stealing this pack of meat. And yet, you see these sick individuals with ample evidence that they committed the most heinous crimes, the most barbaric crimes known to man, abused children in the most horrific ways. And you're not calling for their arrest. They still run the country, much less have been in prison, have been arrested and held accountable for these charges. For these dastardly deeds? No. You people are sick too. All of you that voted for Trump, that triple Trump, that believes in Trump, even after these Epstein file releases, you're sick. A lot of you individuals have children, as I keep saying. Your children need to be taken from you. If you have children, you voted for Trump, chances are your child has been abused in that home. I don't trust you. I meet you in the grocery store. I say, who you voted for? You MAGA? Yeah, I'm MAGA. You voted for Trump? Yeah. You still support Trump? Yeah. You got a 13-year-old child right here with you, a 14-year-old child, a 12-year-old child, a 15-year-old child. I need to call Protective Services. you need to be under investigation. Your child needs to be talked to, interviewed. We need to know if this child has ever been abused. Chances are the answer is yes. Because you subscribe to the abuse, you sanction it, you believe in it. You're a part of this cult that abuse children. You support individuals, predators who abuse children. All of these individuals are sick predators. But this is not surprising. If you know the history of this country and the nature of these individuals, you wouldn't be shocked at all, as I am not.
We got to the end of the flight was Brunei. It's a tiny place, but a very wealthy one. And the Sultan of Brunei was a man that I had gotten to know well in my 8 years as president. And
they're all sick. You're sick too. I'm going to call it out every chance I get. I'm going to call it out every day. I'm going to hold you guys' feet to the fire. I'm going to hold these politicians' feet to the fire. These racist, sick bigots, these abusers who are all diabolical, inhuman flesh mongers. I'm going to hold you accountable. You're going to have to shut me down. You're not going to like it. You might as well get out of here now.
His first involvement with international matters is basically to join the Asian Pacific Economic Leaders Conference, which I started and which he attended. And then he was very proud of that. And he hosted, his time came to host it. You know, you do these things in rotation. And it came either at the very end of my term or maybe the next year. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, and he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he invited me to stay there. And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool. So I did, and then I got out and went to bed, exhausted.
Just for the record, there's another picture that also shows this as part of the larger pool area. Do you all have that so that he can refresh his recollection with respect to that?
We should have it. It's quite enlightening if you watch this.
No. We don't want to hear it. You're guilty. They're all guilty. They're all sick. We've seen the photos. We've seen videos with these old-ass, decrepit, sickly men around these children, laughing. The video with Trump right there with Epstein laughing, pointing. No, he's pointing at a little girl. This sick smirk on his face. They're all sick. This is the same president who indicated he wants to sleep with his daughter, Ivanka. Yeah, he did. He's sick. And if you support him, if you triple Trump, it's only because you're a racist, and it's also because you're sick too. That's the bottom line. And if you have children, I'll say it again, they need to be taken away from you. If you are a MAGA maggot, if you triple Trump, if you still support Trump now, let's say you didn't know before the Epstein file release, and you supported Trump before the release. Still a racist, but that's the only reason you support it. You're certainly not supporting him for any of his policies. All of his policies have negatively affected you. So that's not why you supported him. We know why, but that's okay. But after the Epstein file release, if you still support Trump, knowing that he is a sick abuser, and again, we're not just talking about grabbing some little girl or something. We're talking about some sick stuff with babies. It's all in the Epstein files. Go look at them. If you still support Trump after the Epstein file release, showing his depravity, along with everyone else who is in these files, then you need to be investigated if you have children. I will go to my grave believing that. I will go to my grave believing there is at least the potential, the potentiality that you have abused that child at some point, in some way. No doubt in my mind. I see you walking down the street, driving down the street, and you got on a MAGA hat, and you got a little child with you. I'm going to say, poor child. That child is with an abuser.
Yes, it's noted.
It'll
Yes.
give you a different feel.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't have it with us right now.
Okay,
We do
thanks. I just
have
wanted
it
to
as
make
well.
sure he knew the
And so
context.
were there other people in that pool or hot tub with you as well?
I don't think there's anybody in the hot tub. I didn't forgotten that there was anybody in the hot tub, but it was big, but it was about,
Well,
He's asking in the pool
It appears
area.
this photo, there's a girl over here, or there's someone.
yeah, I don't know who that is.
But he's also asking in the pool area were there other
Yes,
individuals?
Look how light they taking it on him. First of all, Mr. President, thank you for your service. This and that. No, not thank you. You ain't done nothing. Not for me and my people. They think you did because they don't know any better, but you didn't. Your wife is a racist, Hillary Clinton. She made that clear during the election with Obama when she ran against Obama. It was clear then. If you don't believe it, go back and look at it. So I don't care about nothing. They're all in cahoots. They're all the same. None of them care about me or you. Talking about my people. None of them. Including Obama. This is a sham. This is a circus. This is a joke. They're not going to hold any of these people accountable right now. American people are going to have to press the issue to have these individuals held accountable. The government is not going to hold them accountable. They're all complicit. They're all in the same boat. They are all sick. You're asking the sick to punish the sick. No, it's not going to happen. Here it is. President Clinton doesn't remember anything as it relates to this woman that he was in the hot tub with, or this little girl, this child that he was in the hot tub with. But he remembers exactly where they were going, what type of freaking jet they were on, how big the pool was. He remembers everything else. You're not just about to be in a hot tub with just anybody. You're the president, the former president, but you still have prestige. We know that the presidents are protected for the rest of their life. You're not just about to be in some pool with just anyone. And Epstein was there with you too, huh? He was on a flight. Why are you guys chummy with individuals like Jeffrey Epstein? You know none of his dastardly deeds. You didn't know any of it. When you were running around town with him and on his island, you seen the evidence. You seen these little girls there. You knew what was going on. All of you knew what was going on. They're all sick. Again, doctors, nurses, all of them knew what was going on. The FBI, the DOJ, the whole administrations of these presidents. No one has done anything then and now. Still, even with the files being released, with the accusations that are in these files, nothing has been done. This is sick. This is America. This is sick. This is America for you, though. This is your country. But I always knew that this country was sick, these individuals in this country. But well, once you get out of here, I ain't got to get out of nowhere. I built this country. Sick, barbaric people.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know?
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember were they under 18? Would you
No.
know? No.
Were they part of your traveling party, he's asking you?
Yes, they were, I think. I think everybody there was part of our party. It was late at night or late-ish, and I also believe that there was a Secret Service agent there at the other end of the pool.
Okay, and was this in public?
No, it was a hotel room, and the Sultan wanted us to stay there, and the water, this big pool, was on the same floor that there were several suites, so we went out, I swam around, I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, or whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this, did you engage in any sexual activity
No.
with this person? Okay, thank you.
Any sexual activity? No. Right. Who believes him? Raise your hand if you believe him. You expected him to tell the truth? This is the same man who denied the Monica Lewinsky thing. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. They've been liars. He lied decades ago, before some of you were even born. This man was lying while a sitting president. He was lying about stuff that he did that he was not supposed to do right there in the Oval Office. But we're going to believe him now with his life hanging in the balance, because it is. Because once these individuals are handcuffed for these grisly crimes, that's it for them. They're never getting out again. None of them got too long left anyway. They're not getting out. And I'm not being funny. I'm calling it out. I'm going to call it out. I don't care. I'm calling it out every day. Every day. This is sick. These people are sick. And something needs to be done about it immediately. The creators, the independent media, because the mass media, the national media, is doing nothing about it. Nothing. They're all complicit. They're all sick, man. It's all coming to light for those who didn't know, who were in the dark. I was never in the dark. I always knew that they were sick. Stay safe and stay free, people.